Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams, the host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited to be back with you again this week to talk to another member of the Flipped Lifestyle community so that we can help them start, build, launch, and grow an online business that can change their family's future forever. And I got a really, really awesome guest for you today. His name is Joe Martin, or Dr. Joe Martin, as he goes by. And he has an awesome podcast called Real Men Connect, where he helps Christian men heal wounds from the past, be better fathers, have a better marriage, gain control of their finances, and be the leader that their family needs. And he used to be a speaker, and he got into the membership world, and his membership has grown to over 100 members. During the pandemic, he was sitting there and all of his gigs got closed, all of his income dried up, but his membership really took off last year, and he's doing some great work out there for the members of his community. In my conversation today with Dr. Joe Martin, we're going to talk about his price point and how we're going to fix his price point. We're going to talk about his offer and how sometimes you have to change your offer up if you're going to be able to grow your business. We're going to talk about how entrepreneurship is an ever-evolving hot mess. And we're all figuring it out as we go. And we're going to overcome a lot of fear and mindset issues and obstacles along the way. This podcast is a little longer than the normal Flip Lifestyle podcast, so you know I was having a good time recording it, and I know you're going to have a great time listening to it too. So if you're ready to learn a little bit about online business today, let's get started. Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. Super excited to talk to another amazing person in the Flipped Lifestyle community and help them take their online dream to the next level. And I'm excited today to talk to Dr. Joe Martin. Dr. Joe Martin, what is going on, buddy?
What's happening, Shane? I can't believe I'm in the house with Shane Sams, man.
I'm in the house with Dr. Joe Martin, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, you're rocking your podcast too, man. Don't be playing.
I made it, man. I finally made it. I got on the podcast. I am so pumped.
Amazing,
excited,
dude.
Man.
Dude, I'm excited to. I saw some comments and stuff you were making online, and man, I was like, we need to interview him. He's got to get on here. This is going to be an awesome show, and help him not only take the mission and the ministry and the business, but everything to the next level. But real quick, give everybody a little synopsis of you, your background, what have you been doing last 15, 20 years, and then what are you doing now, man? You got 1 minute to tell me.
How can I explain that? Well, what I'll tell you is that my story is one from rags to riches to ruin to redemption. Because I came from a really, really bad and rough background in Miami, son of a teenage mother. Mom had 2 kids by the time she was 17. No dad in the home. But that was part of my story. But then I'm fast forward. I'm giving you the shortest version I can possibly give you, Shane. And I ended up becoming an American dream story, becoming the youngest professor ever hired to teach in the state of Florida at the age of 24.
Wow.
Had my doctorate degree before I was 28. Had written my first book before I was 29. Worked for the Florida governor's office as a communications director. I had made this, coming from being a kid who was abused sexually, physically, watch a lot of my friends just fall to the wayside, be incarcerated, to becoming the youngest professor ever hired to teach in the state of Florida. It was a dream come true. However, because of all that trauma, I never really got healing from it. And I just tried to outrun it by just being an overachiever, just trying to achieve success. And most of that success came from me being able to help people come out of their situation. But I didn't talk about the details of my situation. Never got counseling, never went to therapy, never did this. And I ended up ruining a 16-year marriage, and I hit rock bottom. And I tell people that sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to realize that God is the rock at the bottom. And so that's where God found me, thinking my life was over, that I ruined everything because I was somewhat like a pseudo public figure, traveling to every state, 4 different countries, running my mouth for a living, getting paid to do it for a living. And I had ruined my life. I think I had nothing left to offer. Then I met a man who mentored me, discipled me, and changed my life after I had hit rock bottom. And he told me if I ever wanted to repay him back, just to go and mentor and disciple others. I never thought it would turn into an organization that we've built now. But now, fast forward, I started an organization. I walked away from the wealth and the lucrative job I had as a consultant, speaker, author, traveling all over the world and all over the country to focus on helping men like me who had it all, but lost it all, or helping them rewrite their comeback story, or maybe having to prevent them from writing one at all. And so the way I summarize what we do is we help men win at what matters and frustrates them the most as husbands, as fathers, as leaders in their home. And we do it from a faith-based Christian perspective. That's what we do. And because what we found out is that whether they're believers or non-believers, Christians or non-Christians, every man wants to be successful as a husband, a father, and a leader. But very few men were ever taught how to do it by the father in their home. And Shane, something that'll probably just blow your mind is that I've spoken to a lot of different churches, and I'm asking men who are believers, and I asked them to stand up, and I asked them that same question. How many of you had a man like that in your home that modeled manhood for you, that you wanted that kind of marriage? You wanted to be that kind of father. You wanted to be that kind of leader. And do you know, in churches all over the country, less than 10% of men said they had that kind of role model in their home. Great. So what we've done is we built a community of men through memberships to bring these men together who I call it, you were in education, you got ADD, ADHD. Then we have ABT, ain't been taught. So we bring them, that's really good. We bring them into a community where they haven't been taught. We're talking about from 20 years old up to 65, and say, hey, it's okay. You're just like me. We haven't been taught, but we're going to learn together. And as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. And we're doing it through community. We're doing it through connection, and we're doing it through coaching.
I love
and
it,
counseling.
What a mission. That's what's amazing about the membership model that always fascinates me, is like the impact. Like you just can't reach as even speaking on stage doesn't quite let you go as deep with people. Like you can talk to a lot of people really fast, and if you're going city to city, but man, when you get people in a membership, you get a couple hundred of them, and all of a sudden everybody's going deep in one way. It just makes such a difference in people's lives, and they have so many more resources available to them, and you get to know people in your communities. They get to know each other. And dude, that's subject of trauma, man. Like I think we all have so much trauma, and the world has just like normalized trapping it all inside, right? And I'm not your story is that, God, what a traumatic story, But thank God you eventually figured out, wait, I need counseling, I need fellowship, I need to talk about these things, because if I keep it inside, it's just gonna kill me. One thing we do is my story. My son was mistreated really bad at a daycare center, right? They were locking him in a closet, and he's got all this claustrophobia and all this fear built into him, right? Where his amygdala is just like crazy active. You know what I'm saying? Dude, but we go to counseling, and we do it every month. And man, I've had family members that are like, why are you going to counseling? And he doesn't need counseling. He's a kid. Let him grow out of it. Let him do this. Let him do that. And I'm like, no, like we have got to unite together in fellowship. God didn't put us in fellowship just for his own benefit. It's for our benefit. Right. And and that's why we're supposed to confess and repent and like talk about these things, man. But gosh, man, this world is just not set up that we're all set up on that career path, which focuses everything on that one thing you pick after college. And then all of a sudden you realize, like you said, nobody taught you how to do all the other stuff growing up.
Yeah, one way I describe it, you're absolutely right, Shane. I call it the Asians, that you get sucked into the Asians as a man, that you think, okay, I'm a successful man if I have enough education. I have the right occupation. I have enough compensation, that I have a great reputation, and I have some type of level of intimidation. And so you're right. I started pursuing, thinking, wow, if I just earn enough, if I just get enough letters at the end of my name, that's why I achieved so much at such an early age. I had it all before I was 30, but I lost it all by the time I was 40.
Wow.
And because I thought that was success, because I thought that's what I needed. But what I was failing to realize is that I needed support. I needed community. I needed to be honest and authentic. And when it comes to us as men, we struggle with that probably the most, is because we think that by showing you my vulnerability, that makes you're going to think I'm weak. By telling you my struggles, you're going to think I'm soft. If I tell you that that Tanya and I are going through some issues right now in our marriage, you're going to think, oh, so he's not a good guy, or something's wrong with him. But what I found out is that we all have different situations, but we all have the same struggles.
Yeah, man.
Even
We're
in
all a
membership.
mess.
Yeah.
Everybody's a mess, man. If you think Shane and Jocelyn aren't a mess, you ain't listening good and strong enough to this podcast. You need to listen a little bit closer, man, because we all struggle with that. We all have problems with that. We all have we all have catalysts that are happening all the time that are pushing us toward the bottom, and we have to fight those. And the only way I've found to fight them is together, man. Like, thank God I've got people who, like, when my kids ask me something, like, Isaac's getting older and he's starting to ask me all these questions. Kids are saying stuff and he's getting into all these situations where he's like, it's just the crazy world we live in, and I'm sitting there like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's go through it. But thank God I got people who have kids like 3-4 years older, and I can call them and say, what do I say? What do I do? Or what do you wish you'd have said? Because maybe they didn't say it. Maybe they didn't get it right, but at least there's people that you can talk to. So tell me, Tell me about the speaking career. Now, last year there was no speaking, but so like you were still speaking, right, and doing some things on the road. But like, what happened?
Supposed to be speaking.
That's right. What happened when the pandemic hit, man? Like with all the speaking gigs.
Well, when I left the education arena, which was my bread and butter, and I transitioned over to starting a nonprofit. Real Men Connect is a nonprofit, faith-based organization. You rely in a nonprofit on donations, people giving you donations. And one of the things I quickly realized after maybe the first year that I got into this is that, wow, it's going to take a long time for people to start trusting me enough to just give me money, to say, I support the cause, Joe, what you're doing. This is great. And they were doing it. I mean, people would give us money. I mean, from as small as $10 to as high as $10,000. They would just give it. But you can't depend on that unless they keep giving it.
Yeah.
And so I came up now, and I'm hating for people to hear me say this, but I came to this realization that, you know what, it's easier to make money than to ask for it. Now,
that's a great quote. That is so true, man.
And people think I'm crazy when I say it. I'm like, it's so much easier to go make it than to ask Shane for it.
That's right.
Because I found people can say no to you, and I got to find another person. I got to find another, and then you keep asking, and then that's okay. They'll give it to you to appease you. And then you got to keep asking them next year. I'm like, wait a minute, Joe, forget, now that you left education, don't throw your brain out. What did you do that was over there that you knew that? I said, you know what? I need to look at what can I do to generate revenue? I said, because it'll be easier for me to sustain this ministry, this organization, if I can generate revenue instead of having to depend on begging people and asking people for the money, which is not bad. And people still give to us, but I'm not pursuing it anymore. Yeah. They just give. Somebody just gave $5,000 2 weeks ago. I didn't ask for that, but we'll take it, But I decided, I said, okay, we got to come up with something else. So we came up with a membership model. This before I even heard about you and Jocelyn. I just knew that I got to come up with something that I can depend on every month. So I started building it, and I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I found you guys. I didn't know what I was doing.
So you ran into the wall a couple of times. You start looking left and right, like there must be a way around this wall. I got to stop running through this wall.
But the great thing, Shane, is that even if I didn't know what I was doing, I was succeeding at it.
That's right.
And I didn't even know what I was doing. It was just slowly. It was just kind of slowly building up. So bring it down to pre-COVID. Now we're coming into the COVID year. So I'm thinking, wow, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Man, if we can build the memberships up to 50, if we can build it up to 100, if we can build it up to 200, if we build it up to, man, we'd never have to worry about generating revenue to keep this ministry alive and floating. I never looked at it as, boy, I want to make a lot of money. I just want to keep doing the work and not have to go get a real job. That kind of thing, right?
Well, real job distracts you from the mission. I mean, if you're spending 8 hours a day with somebody else, you're not spending 8 hours a day serving that community. And
even when you're working on somebody else's job, you're thinking about your mission.
That's exactly right. So you're not doing them good.
That's right.
Help. It's not even helping them any.
Exactly. So I'm watching the numbers increase, but I'm thinking, wow, I said, you know what? Don't worry about it, Joe. Don't sweat it. I said, now you're going to get into, community. You're going to get you need to get some coaching, that kind of stuff. I said, but man, thank God I have these speaking gigs still coming in, right? Because they're going to float me until I can kind of shift off, kind of bounce it off. I said, and I'm looking at my calendar. I said, oh my God, this is good. I'm already counting the income. I said, all right, that's going to be great. We're covered for the year. And I had 3 speaking engagements that week. One was in Buffalo, one was in Pennsylvania, and one was in Sacramento. Bought the tickets, everything. Well, they bought the tickets for me to come out there to fly, and they're going to pay me everything, put me up and everything, and compensate me for it. All of them canceled on the same week, and they're off. And I said, okay, wow, I just lost about 15 grand.
Jeez.
You know.
How'd
So now,
that feel? Did you panic or are you like, oh no?
no, because I'm looking at the rest of the calendar and I'm thinking, okay, I don't have 15,000 now. You know what I mean?
But I'll get it later.
I'll get it later. You know,
Right.
I'll get the money later. So it made me nervous. And it was a gut check. And I told my wife, wow, it's amazing. How can I get mad over money I never made, but thinking I'm going to make it? You know?
Yeah, I know,
So
right?
I said, okay, God, I'm not going to get mad over something that never happened, you know? And so I said, okay, but I'm looking at the calendar. I'm good. Then all of a sudden, all of them start falling off. Every last one of them. Shane, I haven't been on a plane since COVID.
Geez,
now you have to understand now, I've usually typically every year, because I fly out of Chattanooga, so there's no one-way flight to anywhere.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. I'm the same way, man. I got to fly to Knoxville and I got to drive there. You know what I mean? So
if I wanted to fly I'm thinking if I wanted to fly to Nashville, I probably got to take 2 flights to get to Nashville from Chattanooga. But so typically I'm on 100 flights a year, at least 100 flights a year. I haven't been on a plane. That's over the last 20 years. I haven't been on a plane since COVID, and all the business fell off. And of course, now I'm panicking, thinking, wow, this is going to be the end of the ministry. It is over. But I said, but the thing is, we still had some members coming in. So we had the income coming in, but I'm thinking, wow, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
But something happened during COVID. Our membership started to go up.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, what? Now, it didn't replace all that income, but it went up enough to sustain the ministry. And I didn't even catch it and didn't even pay attention because I'm just busy doing the work. And then I hook up with you guys last fall. And I'm thinking, and I get to the end of the year when you did this, talk about doing a special promotion about the Christmas.
That's right.
Special promotion.
12 Days of Christmas in the Membership Masters newsletter.
And I get to the end of the year and I look back and I said, wait a minute. I didn't get on one plane. I didn't get one speaking check. And we made it.
Amazing.
How did we make it? And then not only did we make it, we're good.
Yeah,
now
right.
It's just
it's not dipping into thriving a little bit. It's not just surviving anymore, man.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
And so we passed 100 members, which I thought, wow, would take forever.
Well done.
To do.
Well done, man.
And now I'm projecting that by the end of the year, that should double. By the end of this year, that's what I'm hoping.
We're gonna make sure it happens today. That's why you're on the show, dude.
That's what I'm hoping, man.
We're gonna do some work, man. And we always say that people ask us like why we like the membership model, and I think people confuse what we like. We don't just believe your business should only be a membership. Like you can do other things, right? Like if you want to speak some, if you want to do coaching, if you want to sell a physical product or something, whatever, like do it. That's fine. But like the membership is the floor, you know, and like what you found out this year was like, well, wait a minute, you know, the floor, if I'm only a speaker, is rock bottom, right? All those speaking gigs are gone. But the floor with a membership under me is like a safety net. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then you realize, wait a minute, 100 members, if I had 200 members, my floor would be higher than everybody else's ceiling, you know? And that's the security and stability of the membership. And man, I'm telling you that story, not your story, but that story at the end where you're like, and the membership started to grow, has happened time and time again in the community last year, because I think people were driven online and they were seeking out community. And there's no better way to not replace community in your real life, but like to have community and fellowship online than in a membership community where everybody's striving toward the same goal. Everybody's got a like-minded attitude. And once you connect with those people, man, you're like in all the way. You know,
Shane, we were talking about before we got on the show about live events, if they're going to be coming back and everything. And I anticipate that they will. And I know what's going to happen because it's already starting to happen now. They're asking me to speak again. Yeah. You know, they're asking me to come back, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're being optimistic.
Yeah, man.
But I like it. And so, but the thing is, I'm not going to say, no, I'm not going to speak anymore, because they're still going to be paying me. And to me now, it's like, wow, I can go if I want to go.
Choices.
Yeah, I have choices. Now my wife doesn't have to go to some unknown place in the middle of Albuquerque.
Right.
New Mexico.
Or she can't find nothing good to eat. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, right?
Yeah, and so now I have the option to say, okay, I want that gig. I don't want that gig. Or I can raise my fee for that gig, because now I don't necessarily need it to support building what we're building here. And so I'm actually excited. I thought I was going to be burnt out from speaking again. Now I'm excited about returning to speak, because now I can do it out of love for it.
And you can you can use that with your people. Like you could have your own event eventually. Like
absolutely, and I do plan to do that too.
Yeah,
well.
man, connect your people and together. And our brand is funny. People always ask us about the arrow that's in the middle of the Flipped Lifestyle logo, and it's an arrow that points up and down. And really, our entire brand is creating choices, and that's what the arrow represents to us in our logo. Is we all have choices, man. We all have choices, and it's when the pandemic hit, I remember looking over at Jocelyn the day that our governor closed the whole state, and he literally said, to his credit, it was the most honest thing I'd ever heard a politician say. He said, I know the words that are going to come out of my mouth in the next few minutes are going to make some of you unemployed, and we're going to be there for you. So he said that, and I'd never heard of it. I looked at Jocelyn. I said, this is bad. I said, this is really, really bad. Like something is happening. And, but I just remember like doubling down and going, we're not going to go quietly into the night because we have choices. We control our destiny. The choices we've made to now have prepared us to make choices in this moment. And like that was, and because we made those choices, we said, we are going to grow this year. We are going to continue hiring team, even though we had every right to stop spending money. We said, no, we're going to hire new people. We're going to keep growing the community. We're going to get the business going. And when you have a membership site and when you have an online business, even if it's just your side hustle, you have choices. And that's what we want to create in people's lives, man, is just let them make those decisions. I don't have to go to the 9 to 5. I got a choice. I don't have to go back on the road. I've got a choice. And most people are brought up in their life thinking they don't have choices. You got one railroad track, you get on it. If they fire you, your life is over. Or if the speaking gigs dry up, your life is over. And man, I am just not playing that game anymore. That's not the game we're called to live.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But Shane, I look back now because I love education. I mean, I would have taught for free. That's how much I love working with kids and training teachers. And I guess that's why I succeeded so much at it when I became a consultant, because I was so passionate about it. But my biggest regret now, knowing what I know now, I wish I could go back and have started a membership program when I was working in education. Oh my goodness. Oh, Shane, I'm kicking myself now because I had a huge following and I just let it dry up on the vine. I didn't even think about doing a membership. You're talking about, I trained probably over 260,000 teachers over the course of my career.
Man, all you needed was 500 of them to pay you.
Exactly. What if I just had 100 of them?
100 of them, man. You know what I mean?
And I never once tried to enroll them in a membership program.
The best time to start a membership was probably a year ago, and the next best time's today. So it don't matter, man. You're doing it right now. We got right with the Lord, and we started moving toward the membership model. That's okay, buddy. All right, so let's talk about your actual membership site now.
Okay.
So we've got 100 members. We've got a growing community. We've got people paying you every single month, and we've got this thing that we can now grow. So let's talk about what's holding you back. Like what fear mindsets, like where, that 100 member mark can be a little intimidating too once you get there.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me what's holding you back right now from just doubling that thing. Why we got to wait a year? Why can't we double it like in the next quarter?
Well, I know I'm probably one of my biggest problems in my mindset. And because I keep finding in facts to validate it, and it's holding me back. And it's that when you're working in a faith-based market, they think if it's great and it's good, it's from the Lord, so it should be free. Right. Why do we have to pay to be in fellowship? Why do we have to pay to be in community? Why I got to pay for coaching and counseling with you? Why do I have to pay? Now, I'm not saying that's what everybody, obviously we wouldn't have any members if everybody thought that.
That's right.
But what holds me back is one, I think that I believe that they going to think we're doing something evil because we're charging for it, number one. Also, I know that we're undercharging for what we do. But I believe that they don't understand in the faith-based community or in Christian community, they don't understand the value of coaching. That we will be considered low level. I came from the secular market, and I know that I've paid a lot of money for coaching where you're paying a membership program that could be from $1,000 to $2,000 or even $5,000 a month.
Yeah, you understand ROI though. That's the difference.
But that's devil speak in the Christian community.
I know, man.
What do you mean paying that kind of money? Not understanding the return on investment. And so I've let my knowledge of that hold me back because we only charge $100 a month for what we do. And Shane, please,
what do you do?
Okay, don't curse me out.
I don't curse. I'll pray for you, but I won't curse you out. I promise.
You're gonna pray. You're gonna say we need to lay hands on Joe Martin now. That's what you're gonna say right now. You're like, Joe, you're doing what? This is what we offer for our $100 a month. We offer unlimited coaching with me.
Oh no! No,
all right, okay, it gets worse. It gets worse. Unlimited counseling. All right, and you pay $100 to $150 an hour for a counselor. Unlimited coaching with me. Unlimited counseling. They get assigned a what we call a best man, a person who checks on them regularly.
Is that an employee or is it
No, they're volunteers from in the community. They want to do it. And they want to make sure that person is taken care of. We call them your best man. That's basically your best friend in a sense, because you have a hard time trusting people and that kind of thing. I handpicked him because he has proven himself. He's been with us maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And so we assign them to that person. They get unlimited access to all of our online courses. We offer like 15 online courses. Pretty much they get access to our private Facebook group. So, but the biggest thing is that coaching. And you know good and well, right now, if you offer me unlimited coaching, you couldn't coach anybody right now, Shane, if you offer that to me.
No chance. Right.
And so, but now here's the crazy thing about it. And this is my mindset. We offer it. You think, Joe, how can you even be on the call with me right now if you're offering unlimited coaching? They don't take advantage of it.
That's the 80-20. It's like church. Like you got 10 people that are vacuuming. I mean, it's like if you got 4 people that volunteer in the nursery out of 400. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way it is. Like, people never use that stuff. But at scale, that will become a massive problem.
Yeah, I know it will.
Problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about this a little bit now. So your fear, what I'm hearing is that one, man, as this goes broader and people are like, are you really, Jesus wouldn't charge me to lay hands on me? You know what I'm saying?
And then if I raise the price on top of it to double it, and you're raising it.
That's right.
You used to charge this. Now this must be from the devil.
I know. I know what you're saying, man. All right. So let's, I think the easiest way to talk about this fear specifically is to talk about results and to say, you can't make everyone happy. This is not church. Mm-hmm. Right. This is a membership. It's not church. You are providing value in the marketplace for an exchange. That's just it. I mean, and that's it's so simple to say that, but not easy to internalize it. Mm-hmm. But people are going to criticize you. That's going to happen. And from a results aspect, here's what I've learned over, gosh, I don't even know how many memberships and sales and people. Every person I've ever given it to for free has failed.
Yeah.
And I did them a disservice by doing that because people who pay attention, and people who are invested get ROI, and the result that they want, right? They return on that result. It should be RAI, result after investment, right? That RAI that they're wanting to get is the result that you deliver, and that you help them with. So your price is totally justified. In fact, it's crazy because you can't maintain this, and we've got to change the model to either not offer this or change the way that you offer it. Right. And I don't know if you have to raise your price. I think changing your offer is probably the better way to do it. Okay. And like the cool thing about changing the offer is you can draw a line in the sand on a date. Like you could say like March 1st or whatever. And like, you don't have to even make this public, but you can just say that, everyone who's a member today, I made this promise to them, right? And I'm going to honor that promise, for X months going forward. And I'll let them know that. And at that point, I'll just be okay if they're not happy with the new offerings, right? Mm-hmm. So you can not mess with your people you're messed with now. And you don't even have to worry about that until the date comes where you want to change the model. Okay.
Right.
And then now you say going forward, hey guys, we're going to change this. We're going to come together as a group Q&A once a week. Mm-hmm. And you can now ask me anything that you need. You can talk about it. You can hear other people talk about it. If you don't want to talk about it, you can submit an anonymous question. And I'll pick from the anonymous questions. If you don't want to, look weak or look scared or look whatever. But we're gonna do this from a one-to-many mentality from now on. That's why the flipped lifestyle model is content that answers 80% of the questions. Like the same questions get asked over and over again, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make sure my content covers that, so I can point to it whenever you ask that question in my forums. And then on Q&As, I'm going to talk to people live, but we're going to learn from each other. Like 10, 15 people out of 100 get the questions, right? And then everybody gets to listen in. Everybody learns. Everybody gets excited. We celebrate wins. But it's 1 hour and a half, twice a month. That's all I do, right? And then on the backside of that, we have to focus on connecting the people together, because Dr. Joe Martin and Shane Sams don't have all the answers. We gotta tap into the collective mind power of the membership to help each other. And those people have answers for each other that are actually closer to what you are. You know, I don't remember what it was like to exactly start my business 10 years ago. Right. But someone who just started their business 6 months ago and someone who's starting their business today, they're much more likely to have the in the moment battlefield answers that each other needs than I'm going to have anyway. Right. And by thinking of that membership mindset, that one to many mindset, and we make a commitment to move forward and we change that one to many mindset, it's going to take that pressure off of you. Like, you don't have to sell that anymore. You can stop right now, keep it $100 a month. Don't raise your price. Leave everybody with the promise they've got. That's like your beta group. You've already made some promises to them. You know what I'm saying? We changed the terms, though. We're going to have to tell them, hey, guys, I'm going to be closing down this unlimited counseling thing, right? I'm going to this unlimited coaching is going to be shut down. I am still going to offer coaching, right? Like, maybe you have 20 spots a month that you charge, $200, $300 for. Right. And only your members have access to that, but they're going to have to tap into that with payment. And the people who are already taking advantage of it will take advantage of it. But we're just going to change the offer. We got to back out of the offer. Like John, I told you off air, I'm getting ready to work with this live event company as an education partner. Kind of like how Rich Dad Poor Dad has conferences and they sell products at the end of it, or Tony Robbins would do something like that. Like, we're the education partner for this company. And so when we go in and we do that, I was actually creating offers the other day. And one of the offers, we have a program that we're developing right now. It's in beta, called the Roundtable. And my vision is for it to be mastermind groups of people who connect together, but I'm not there. Now I might hire a facilitator who runs 20 groups of 10 people, right? And, they work 20 hours a week on that and 20 hours on admin. I could definitely see that happening. But it's just because people really need that connection and that mastermind environment to succeed at a higher level. So when I was looking at the offers, I was putting that in. But of course, this from the speaker world, there's a split between the live event company and the education partner.
Right.
When you sell something, Jocelyn looked at me and said, whoa, after the split, that's totally not worth it, because we have to hire this person. We have to do this to support it. We're going to have a live event for these people. Like, that math does not work. So I had to talk to my partner and say, no, we're backing out of that. We're not going to offer that at the event. We're going to sell that off the back end where we get a higher split is what our goal is. You know what I'm saying? And we're still massaging the offer. It may end up worth it eventually. Right. But I pulled that out of the offer. It just can't be that way anymore, and it's the same thing with our community. As our communities get to 500, 1,000, like, this has to be reevaluated every 500 to 1,000 people, because if you are at 100, 500, 1,000, because the offer has to change so that you can serve more people. Right. So don't feel bad. Don't feel like you have to raise the price, and never, ever feel like you have to keep offering the exact same thing, because you don't. You have choices. Right. Now, will some people leave your membership? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
That will happen. But if you lose 20 and you gain 200, I mean, you just change your avatar a little bit. You're just looking for a different person. Right. So what would the offer look like if it was just your amazing content? What would your offer look like if it was just Dr. Joe, once a week, right? An hour with Dr. Joe a week, and you're answering questions. And then you add some coaching with you, if you want to, at a respectable rate that you feel like is your effective hourly rate, right? Like, if you're on the road 3 days for a speaking gig, what would you charge? Divide that by 18. That's probably about an hourly rate, right? That you would want to speak. So you would do that if you want to do a little coaching. And then this is the big thing. Then we can work toward a new model. Maybe we work toward 500 members at that offering. But then we could go back to, man, I would love to offer the result of unlimited coaching. I would love to offer the result of unlimited counseling, or at least get people in where you get an hour a month Well, then at that point we can hire coaches and people to facilitate that aren't Joe.
Right.
We can work toward that vision of bringing that back in a bigger, better way for all the people that you can serve. And by that point, you'll have so many people that you'll have people bump up to the next tier. Does that make sense? Am I going too deep here?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. And I think one of the biggest surprises to me, because I'm even going into it, I said, this is not going to be sustainable. That's what I thought when I came.
And that's okay for the first 100 members. It really is.
But what I've been surprised and shocked by, and that's why I say I got this mental block, is that I could not have offered this if I was in education and offer, and I had a membership model, which I wish I would have started back then. I couldn't have made that same offer to the teachers. They would have definitely utilized it. But I'm shocked that our members don't utilize it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though, man. I'm telling you, like I probably could offer that, and I'd be full, but that's just because we are a critical mass of members.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But man, I'm telling you, with 100 people, I'd be shocked if 20 people took advantage of that in a month, just because.
See, and I guess, and I'm so naive. I thought that, oh my goodness, 80% of them would take advantage of it, and I would never have time to breathe.
I have people turn down coming on the podcast.
Are you serious?
Yes, because I think people, they can't find the time that works, or, that's usually the biggest one is they just can't, because I only record at certain times of the week because of my family. So like even that little barrier of, man, you won't take a day off to help. You know what I mean? Like, right. But even that, they get busy, man, and they get scared, and there's fear, and they don't, like, even just talking to you privately might be intimidating for them.
Right.
So maybe what you're seeing, and this is another success leaves clues sign, because people aren't taking advantage of that. They're not maybe getting the help you could provide for them if you created another place for them. Maybe this place you've created, this unlimited coaching with Dr. Joe, is not the correct solution for this group of people, but the correct group, the correct place for it might be in a Q&A or in small breakout sessions or in something like that. You know what I mean?
See, I've never even considered that, and that makes perfect sense to me. I'll tell you what, you were asking about what's stopping. That was one of them, and I think the one that now probably has me the most frustrated, because I knew that I'm gonna have to shift something. Something has to change because we're growing. Yeah. But the thing that has probably been the biggest concern for me, and I just haven't been able to figure it out, and it's one reason why I joined your program, and now I joined Membership Masters, because I'm thinking, okay, I need more education. I need to know what is not working here. Is that I told you that we've been growing in spite of myself.
That's usually how it works. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every entrepreneur, that's how it happens, right?
And it's growing. I'm thinking, wow. So even if I continue to do the same things wrong, and if I didn't change anything else, it's going to grow at this. But the thing is, it's been growing at a snail's pace. And no matter how many things I try and how many things I tweak, I mean, I've tried, it seems like I'm trying something new every week or every month, at least every month. And it hasn't turned up the volume yet to see it increase. The only thing that I saw, anything that was a significant bump, was when I tried your strategy about the Christmas thing.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, okay, that's the first time we've ever seen any bump like that at all. And I've tried a lot of other stuff, but I'm thinking, okay, that was great, but because the timing was at the end of the year. In Christmas, and that's why you say to do it. Yeah. And I'm thinking, but what about the rest of the year? What if I could keep that kind of bump going? What can I do to generate more qualified leads who see the value and think this is a no-brainer? I got to get into this thing, because one of the things I noticed that when we do set up a call with people, especially if they've listened to our podcast, I would say our closing rate on the phone is probably about 85 to 90%.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But imagine it's so obviously we have more numbers, we will have a really good problem.
That's you doing it.
But that's me doing it.
Yeah, man. You can't.
But the thing is, it's not that I'm even having a lot of calls. It's that I'm not getting enough calls that I can even hire somebody to do calls for me, because we haven't had enough to give out to people. So I've been just doing it myself.
So you offer calls on the podcast?
Oh, well, we do like commercials.
Oh, I got you.
And one of the calls will say, hey, to, check out our Real Men, it's called the Real Men 300 program. And they have to send an application and set up a breakthrough call with us.
Yeah.
But if they, now,
so do you make people apply to be in the membership?
Yes.
Okay. Let me stop you for a minute. Okay. I don't think you'll have to do that when you change the offer, because you're right now trying to screen people to protect your time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And also the members in the organization, because they're concerned about confidentiality.
I gotcha. I gotcha. They're concerned about confidentiality about, oh, I see, because you're kind of talking and,
Yeah,
openly and it's kind
imagine
of
you and
freely.
Jocelyn, you joining the group because you're having a struggle with Jocelyn, and you come in and you say, I don't know, because last time I was at my church, I told them, and they told everybody, and now I don't know who this guy is. I just found him on the internet. And so is he going to betray my confidence? So it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. Say, oh, so he screens everybody like this? Because we get into the issues before they even come in, and we build a profile on them, and we know we got a lot of, no different than what is a client privilege doctor.
Maybe you could have a second tier of that doesn't promise confidentiality. Maybe you've got a tier problem. Like you could have a lower tier that does that, a lower tier that's just like, we're not going to say anything, but it's Q&As and it's content basically, right? Maybe that's your $100 tier. And then maybe the upper tier that's like, $297 a month or something is you have to apply. There's confidentiality, but even that's not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I mean, you can't stop people from talking about nobody. It's not going to probably happen, but but maybe this application tier is a second tier. So you've got come in at $97 a month. And then you've got that one is just free for all. It's just like, listen, you're going to get all the benefits of all my training. You're going to get all the benefits of Dr. Joe every week. You know what I'm saying? Just once a week or whatever, or every other week's fine. It doesn't have to be every week. You're going to get the benefit of connecting with a huge community. You can put all the people that are in it in that place wherever they hang out, maybe a Facebook group or or whatever. But like they just get access to both places because they've already been vetted for the upper thing. And you can tell all those people, hey, what you get is now $297 a month or something. And it'll change or whatever. You could have two tiers there for sure. And going back to the promotion thing, dude, like that's why we got to get you, even if they're not taking advantage of that schedule to get on calls with you. I know that weighs on your mind. Like, what if they sign up for 10 calls this week? I'm not going to have time to email market. I'm not going to have time to do a webinar. I'm not going to have time to run a promotion. I'm not going to have time to Facebook or whatever. And like that weighs on you because you have to kind of think about that and keep those spots open. Right.
Well, I have put a safeguard in for that. And one of the safeguards we do, which I think was one of the best ideas I ever came up with, is that on every time they do a call with me, they are given a homework assignment and they cannot set up another appointment until they've done the homework.
There you go. So now
and then ask them before they set up the next appointment.
But even still, you got to think.
But somebody might
finish their homework. What if 5 people finish their homework?
What if they all finish their homework? Yeah. So that has been my saving grace, is that guys just don't, how people are. They just don't follow through on taking the actions. Or
they do it in less time. That I find that people do take action, but where I can do something in a week and I'm like, that has to take a week. I don't know why that's not taking a week. That person's like 6 months later, like, I did it. Yes. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, well, what did you do? Did I tell you to do something? Oh, that I remember that, Yeah. And it messes you up that way. So I think, but the promotion thing actually is easy. That's what the Membership Masters newsletter is for. It's okay, fine. Like this month, everybody in the Membership Masters newsletter was doing a price increase because we're doing a price increase. I saw that.
That's what. Yeah, and I just joined, so I'm just learning now. I'm really excited about being in this.
Hey, dude, February we'll do. I love February because it's all about love and Valentine's Day, man. We need to get married. We need to have a lifetime offer, man. You know what I'm saying? So I do like a lifetime promotion, and like there's all kinds of things that we can do throughout the year. Right. That we can promote and we can create urgency, we can create relevance, we can create these things. But the problem is we have to get out of our own way. We can't be doing all this other stuff. We got to focus on how am I going to promote this month on the podcast? How am I going to promote this on my email list? But I think the offer is what we've got to reevaluate. I don't know if we can solve the whole problem right this second, but like I think getting the $100 tier cannot involve you as much.
Gotcha.
And I'm telling you, man, $100 a month for content and Q&A is really, really, really stinking valuable, extremely valuable. And if you had the expectation at that tier that it wasn't as confidential, you're not going to get some people join, but you're going to open the door for a ton of other people to try. Right. And it doesn't have to be so confidential if it's in your terms and conditions. Like, hey, these are public Q&As within the community. If someone hears you say something, it's probably going to be good. If you want more confidentiality, if you want more support, or that will be a higher tier, right? Right. Which is what we do in our coaching program. I got like Q&As that we do live. we cut those up and put them on YouTube individually. So we have a big library of Q&A that we don't do all of them, but most of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Q&As I do in my roundtable or any coaching program I do, those are not made public, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can I stop Bob from talking about Chris's the stuff anywhere in the world? Probably not, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're getting confidentiality from me, and that's what matters.
Right.
For my business. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we just got to say, man, dude, you got to change this offer. Like just $100,
Mm-hmm.
content, community, and me every other week for an hour and a half, right? And then once you do that, and the expectation now becomes, you can still have an application process if you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't let them come on and do calls anymore or vetting. I would vet from the application and say, you get in. Right.
Gotcha.
It's just a little less barrier to entry, make that thing a little shorter. And you could even work that into your trial. Like you could call people a trial member, and let them in and let them get involved while you're evaluating applications and approve them before their first renewal. Right. They could totally sign up for that. Just to open that door a little bit, make sure your terms and conditions reflect it. And then there's another really good model. Do you know who Aaron Walker is? I'm going to give.
Matter of fact, I had him on my show.
Awesome, Aaron. Yeah, he's got an awesome. His model's really cool. I love Aaron, man. And he was on Membership Masters where we talked about it. I don't know if it's out yet at this recording. So he's coming. He's on the podcast.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't see that he was.
It's probably. I don't know when the schedule is. My team does it, and I get confused. But Aaron's model is really cool. He puts people in mastermind groups. They talk to each other, and Aaron leads it from a true Moses on the rock kind of standpoint. You know what I mean? Like he'll come in once a month and do an interview with like a guest like me or somebody or whatever, like a special guest to tell, these business owners about something he focuses on business owners and entrepreneurs, and it's men though. His wife runs one for women. And these people are in masterminds with themselves, but they get templates and flow and format to have these conversations with each other.
Right.
And it's almost like church, man. It's like a preacher and like small groups, and you're in your little pod. Now, and I don't know how he manages those masterminds, but what I'm going to do with this roundtable that we're creating is I want to hire one person who runs the pods. So that way they get good facilitation, they get good moderation, they get good management, right? But now you're talking about serving 10 people in that hour instead of one person on a counseling call.
Right.
So you could create something like that even with you. Like you do 10 of those groups, charge $500 a month, and all of a sudden you've got, whatever that is, math, 50 grand or something. But you just show up for those meetings and you go through and people have a hot seat, and it's like you've been in a mastermind probably before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's ways we can make all that happen. And then let's focus on promotion. Dude, you got an audience, you got a list, you got people that are applying. We just need to get them through the line a little faster.
Right.
And make that promotion stuff go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's really what I'm trying to figure out. I'm thinking maybe it's been going slow because I'm not ready to take on the increase.
You're not the way it's structured now.
Yeah, not the way it's structured right now.
That's right. Before it's the 21st today. Today's my daughter's birthday, actually. It's the 21st today. By February 1st, you need to redo the offer, and you need to change your sales pages to reflect that moving forward, right? And you could also notify your people like that, say like, hey guys, just want you to know the unlimited coaching and stuff will be available for a while for all you guys that are still members. But that is going to go away eventually and be replaced with something better, right? That's the key, is sell them that this is a better way to do it, which it is. I'd rather have 10 people that I can bounce my problems off of than one. I don't care how experienced they are, right? So, you're just going to replace it with something better. And then like, hey guys, we're growing the community. You could do some promotions to get them to get their friends to join. And, but I think that are you doing Q&A right now?
Yeah, we do a Facebook Live in our group, and I go on Wednesdays, and it's usually like 30 minutes, 45 minutes until, if anybody shows up and I'll answer questions. And we don't even, it's at 10 a.m. in the morning, which that's the only time I'm free. That's free time for me. I can't try to accommodate everybody else's schedule.
No. You got to, hey, listen, I learned 2 years ago, now about a year ago. This is a hard lesson I just learned. I stopped showing ads anywhere but the 4 time zones in the United States of America. And if other people want to join, I love you Australians out there. I love you guys. I love everybody in Europe or Brazil, wherever you're listening right now. I do love you, but good Lord, I got to sleep. And I just had to figure out I can't do these 10 o'clock Q&As to make certain a small
Right.
cohort. And, you're going to have to watch the replay or submit your question in the forums because I couldn't
And,
do it,
and that's
man.
what we do. I go on at 10 a.m. and we probably get about maybe, I know the model, what you're telling me works. And I just didn't put the two and two together. And like, that's what I need to be doing, because we get about maybe 5 to 10 people who show up, and they
But
only
once they get
ask
to
like,
500, you'll get crazy. You know what I'm saying? You'll get 60 people show
yeah,
up.
but we only get like maybe 2 questions per session. And I'm thinking that's nothing,
Dude,
right?
I'll tell you, let me say something right now. I'm going to challenge you to
Okay.
get Zoom webinar. Okay.
Okay.
Just upgrade to webinar. It's like 30, 40 more bucks a month.
Mhm.
If you've already got Zoom,
Right.
get Zoom webinar. I'm going to challenge you to email your members and advertise your Q&A in the Facebook group, but make them come to Zoom, make them register to get reminders in Zoom or another platform if you prefer it. Like you can use Crowdcast or something else, but I use Zoom because Zoom's easy and it's just everybody understands it. But like, promote it as an event each week, like Monday and Tuesday. Promote it like crazy that there's going to be a Wednesday call, and you'll scrounge up 20 to 30 people at one of these next calls, right? Because it's so much better platform than Facebook Live. Use Facebook Live for more like random stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like in your group, like it, or if somebody else is going live in the group or something like that. But try to get them to a platform, get them to a place, get them to register, get them reminder emails. Email them, let them know. If you can send a text, let them know. Put it in the Facebook group with a link like, hey guys, next call's Wednesday, click here to sign up for it. And then put all those people, you got chat, and you can do a Q&A just like we do it, but you'll get more people that way. That's why we don't go live in the Facebook group very much, is because it's who's paying attention.
Right. Who's paying attention? Right. Right.
Even if they know it's at 10 o'clock, do they remember? They got stuff to do. Right. But on that Zoom, man, they can call in, they can listen, they can they can listen while they're driving, like a podcast. So it's all good, man. But let's get your offer to Q&A and content right now with upsells into anything that takes your time. And then let's flesh out what a higher tier would look like. And let's kind of reduce the friction on that application a little. Okay. I'd start approving those without a call. I would just ask better questions. Right. And then let's see if that opens that'll grease the gears. And now we promote for the next 2 or 3 months. And let's see if we can't get to 200 by summer instead of the end of the year with all this easier open hand approach. Like, Dave Ramsey always says, money, anything with business is open handed. If you close your hand, money can't get out, but money can't get in either.
Right.
But if you, it's the same thing with memberships. But if you open your hand a little bit more, let that flow in and out. If anybody causes a problem, you just remove them, right? And you're good to go. And this thing can kind of blow up a little bit on you. You've built it correctly, though. I want to say that, like, I don't want you to think you're doing anything wrong.
Right.
It's just what got you here won't get you there.
Won't get me there.
That's
Absolutely.
right, man. So something's got to shift a little bit. Okay. Awesome, dude. Well, listen, based on I'm gonna keep talking. I got another podcast. I got another member waiting on me, but I'm gonna keep talking to Dr. Joe here, man. But tell me about, from our conversation today, like, how do you feel about that? And like, what do you like we just said, everything's about taking action. So what do you think you need to take action on next to get this?
Oh, immediately. As soon as you said that, I'm thinking about, I was always focused on price and beat myself up because not raising the price. I never even considered changing the offer. And when you said that, the light bulbs went off, because we add so much value. And I'm thinking, why does it have to be in one place? I could stretch this, I can flush this out. And so my focus is now on restructuring the offer, and which I don't think is going to be hard and difficult to do. I just never thought that was the answer. I wasn't looking at that. I was thinking, okay, when do I raise the price? How much do I raise the price? Not looking at the offer that I'm making to them. Never even considered it.
Yeah, man. That's it, dude. Sometimes. And you know what? Some people won't like it.
Yeah.
But a lot more people.
I can tell some people are not going to like.
That's right. It'll be all, you know what it'll be? It'll be all those people that never took advantage of it.
Never took advantage of it in the first place.
Never signed up for an appointment. Never did it. They're the ones that are going to be like, I can't believe you.
What is going to be fear of missing out, the FOMO? Oh, he's taking something away from me, which you never used in the first place.
That's why you don't want to say it out loud for 3 months, because you'll have 800 people try to sign up before it goes away.
Right? Exactly.
Deal, man. So. Well, listen, dude, I appreciate you, man, for being so transparent on here and just coming on, having a great conversation. I know that there's a lot of people out there in the same boat, and their light bulbs are just going off everywhere, whether it's on a treadmill or in their car waiting in traffic or anywhere else that they're doing, probably at home because we're all still trapped at home. But man, I really just appreciate everybody that comes on the show and being vulnerable and not being afraid to look weak or soft, because we're all in this together. We're all figuring out as we go. And I think we found a good solution for your problem today, Joe. Hey, tell everybody real quick about your podcast, where they can find you online, and all the information to connect with you.
Yes, they can find us if they go to any type of podcast platform. They're going to find us, but we're one of the top, if not the top rated podcast for Christian men on Apple Podcasts. And if they go to realmenconnect.com and just click on podcast, they can subscribe on any platform that they want to do that on. And Shane, I got to give just give you some praise too for just your podcast and how you do your podcast. After I first heard your podcast and doing Flipped Lifestyle and how you did this, like bringing people from your community on to talk about what, I'm thinking, what, that has to be the most brilliant idea I've ever heard in my life on doing a podcast. I keep trying to figure out, how can I change my podcast to do what Shane is doing? Because we've grown huge, but this would be so much more powerful if I could do the same type of format where the guys in our community, if I can get them to open up, like I'm opening up to you, to talk about their life and everything. Because we're bringing all these experts and everything. But man, I just got to tell you, I've never seen a show do what you're doing on a podcast, and I thought it was the most brilliant idea. So thank you for having me on the show.
Hey man, it's all about the mission, baby. You got. Hey, listen, I figured out real early. I can serve 52 people a year. I can do for one what I wish I could do for everyone.
Amen.
And I get to do it 52 times a year by doing the format this way. And I finally added an expert podcast, but it created more work. I just said, you know what? I'm going to add that. We're not changing anything about the show, because I know people that come on the show, man, they make big things happen. And that ripple effect goes really, really far from this community. And that's what I'm most proud of anyway. So I appreciate
you hit the sweet spot with this. This is perfect. This is I wish more podcasts did this.
Oh man, I had a great time talking to Dr. Joe right there. And I'm excited to say Joe is still with me, because we are about to share a Bible verse here on the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. You know, Jocelyn and I draw a lot of inspiration and motivation in our business and our life from the Bible verses in the good book. And I'm pumped because Joe is going to share his anchor verse with us today and tell us why it's important to him, so you can get some of that wisdom in your life as well. So Dr. Joe, take it away.
Yeah, Shane, my anchor verse for my life, as well as for my wife's life as well, is 2 Corinthians 5:17. That's 2 Corinthians 5:17, which says that if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old man is gone, but all things have been made new. And the reason why that's my anchor verse for my life is, I told you even in the podcast, that I came from rags to riches to ruin to redemption. It was that ruin part that I thought, wow, I made too big of a mistake. God would never be able to use me for anything else good, because I blew my chance. I blew my opportunity. And it's never too late. I found out now from that scripture, it is never too late to become what God has called and created you to do. So I am a new creature in Christ, a new creation. And that's my anchor verse for my life.
Love it, man. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for this episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. What an awesome conversation with Dr. Joe Martin. I cannot wait to see what he does with that new offer, that new creation that he's going to make over in his membership site. I have a really good feeling that's going to take everything he's doing to the next level. And we'd love to help you be a new creation. We'd love to help you go to the next level with a membership site of your own. You know, with all the uncertainty, everything that's happened in the past year, wouldn't it be amazing to have a membership with 100 members in it, paying you every single month, so that you have choices, you have control over your life. You don't have to worry on the government passing a new stimulus bill. You don't have to worry about an employer deciding to keep you, or through no fault of their own, not being able to keep you around. You would have control over your life. You would have choices in your life. And that's what we do inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. We help you start, build, and launch an online business based on the membership model, so that you can create those choices in your life and a better future for your family too. If you'd like to check out what we do, head over to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED, lifestyle.com/free. And you can get started today. We can help you come up with your idea. We can help you get that membership off the ground. We can help you get it launched, so that you can give yourself a chance at success and your family a chance at a better future. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free, FLIPPED fliplifestyle.com/free. We cannot wait to hang out with you inside the Flipped Lifestyle community today. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this podcast helped you move your online business dream forward. Until next time, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
All right, you go about that. You're about your membership's about to be a new creation. That's what's about to happen.
I hope.
Love it, dude. One more thing before we go. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. If you love the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, if we bring a little joy and a little happiness and we bring some knowledge into your life every single week, could you do us a favor? Go to Apple Podcast and hit subscribe. Download a few of the podcast episodes onto your phone. Apple's algorithm loves seeing downloads and it loves seeing those subscribes. And please leave us an honest review over on Apple Podcasts. That'll help us grow the show, expand the mission, and reach more people so that we can help them change their family's future as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.